engagement point menu review session. Next slide, please, Jessica. So my name is Chelsea Pizzo. I am the manager of data analytics for the MVC team, and I'll be co-presenting today with Jessica Sova, who is our new engagement manager. So just as a reminder, as many of you just saw, we are recording this session. So at the end of the session, we will share the slides and the recording with all site coordinators within the next few days. And I'm sure lots of questions are going to come up throughout this session. So we ask that you please use the Q&A feature to ask any questions that come up. There will be time at the end of the session to ask questions directly. And we also have multiple people kind of monitoring the Q&A box to answer any quick or more technical questions as they come up. So our agenda for today, we will first do a quick refresher on our program structure for upcoming P4P program years 2024 and 2025. Then we'll do a review of the program year 2024 engagement point menu. We'll go through a couple program year 2024 engagement point scoring examples, and then we'll have plenty of time for a Q&A at the end. So just to get started, we'll do a quick refresher of our program in general. So the MVC component of the Blue Cross P4P program has 4 guiding principles. The first is that we strive for alignment with, where possible, with Blue Cross and CMS quality measures. We use high quality data to drive improvement. We strive for fair, simple, and transparent measures. And we also want to encourage the use of MVC data to drive value improvement at your sites. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of the new engagement menu, I just want to remind everyone of the P4P timeline, because I know that there's a lot of years and a lot of details, and we're about to have a pretty big shift in how we score a portion of the program. So in the blue, we are currently still in program year 2023 in that scoring cycle. So for that one is closing at the end of this year. At early next year, we will score program year 2023, and then payment for that will happen within 2024. At the same time, we'll be kicking off program year 2024, which has a baseline year of 2021 and a performance year of 2023. So that's relevant for the episode spending metrics as well as the value metric scoring. But there's sort of a new arm over to the right, which is the engagement points. So the main difference compared to how those of you who are familiar with the way that our P4P program works is that the engagement points that you're earning will actually take place during the program year rather than having some kind of retrospective data to be scored on. The data that you're scored on, again, will still be retrospective, and there will still be that baseline and performance year with a year in the middle. That won't change. But just to keep in mind that the engagement points are actually being earned during the year of that program year. So the same thing will apply to 2025, where the baseline year is 2022, the performance year is 2024. Again, that will be for your episode spending metric and your value metric, but your engagement points for program year 2025 will be earned during calendar year 2025. And then just a quick refresher on the new scoring structure. So our P4P program will still be scored out of 10 points, which is not a change, but the actual breakdown of how those 10 points are earned is going to be a little bit different. So you'll be able to earn 4 points for that episode payment component and 4 points for the value metric component. And just as a reminder, the conditions and value metrics for the episode payment and value metric part of the scoring were selected back in fall 2022. And then over to the right, you'll also be able to earn your final 2 points based on engagement activities. And that's really what we'll spend the rest of today's webinar focusing on. So with that, I will pass it over to Jessica to really dive into the program year 2024 engagement point menu.
Thanks, Chelsea. If you guys can't hear me, hopefully somebody will let me know. I'm going to go ahead and press on. So we are very excited to offer these engagement opportunities for you to earn points in 2024. We've developed the engagement point menu as a way to increase and enhance the collaborative learning across MVC network, but we're also trying to remain flexible to different opportunities that are of benefit to different sites. So this was sent, the menu that we are going to go through today was sent out on Tuesday. If by some chance you didn't get it, you will be getting these slides after the meeting, and everything is also contained in the slides. The final point on here that I wanted to draw your attention to is just that the folks that participate in the different engagement activities that we're going through do not need to be the site coordinator. In fact, we encourage you to involve other members of your team as the different topics and discussions are relevant to the work that they're doing as well. So here is the beginning of the point menu. For the first part of it, we're looking at the collaborative wide meetings. We have set it up so that if you attend, if somebody from your site attends one of the two collaborative wide meetings, either in the spring or in the fall, and the dates are shown here, you will get 0.25 points. If somebody from your site attends both meetings, and it doesn't have to be the same person, then you will get 0.75 points for engagement. The third row there is also relevant to the collaborative wide meetings, but it's the poster sessions. If you've never been to one of our collaborative wide meetings, the poster sessions are a really great opportunity for your site to showcase the work that they are doing, and also to connect with other sites who are interested in beginning some of that work, or who may already also be doing that work. So that is why we definitely want to encourage folks to think about doing that to increase that collaborative learning. Then the next section starts to get into the work groups. And we first talk about presenting at a work group. We will be sending out a survey for you to submit a proposal to present at a work group. Those will happen throughout the year, and we'll be sending surveys out throughout the year so that you don't have to do it when that survey first comes out. You don't have to do it right then, but if you want to present in the first quarter, you'll need to do the early. If you want to do it later on, then you'll get another opportunity. And then the next section talks about the 4 work groups that we have that are on the topics of cardiac rehab, follow-up, for CHF, COPD, and pneumonia, perioperative testing, and sepsis. So just to clarify, each of those topics will have 4 work groups, and you will need to participate in all 4 of those work groups for that topic to get the 0.25 points. Additionally, we will have work groups that are focused on rural health, and then the Health in Action series. You can mix and match those as long as you attend 4 in total of either of those to get 0.25 points. And then just so that everybody is aware, the total amount of points that you could get from work groups is 0.75, and we'll go through that in a little bit more detail as we look at some of the examples towards the end of the webinar. Sorry, I was having trouble making that slide advance. So now we are getting into the networking events. We are going to be sending out additional information about when these will be and how they will, what platform they will be. We are anticipating and hoping to be able to offer some both virtual and in person, but again, we still have to select dates and figure out exactly how we're going to roll that out. The custom analytics report process is a multi-step process in which you submit a request, and then we have a planning meeting that includes Chelsea and or one of our other analysts to kind of go through what your needs are so that we make sure we are getting you what you need, and then we review the report and complete a feedback form. All of those steps need to happen to get that 0.25 points for them. Finally, we get into the site visits, which are a great opportunity for us to learn more about what's going on at the sites in general, and also to help us be able to connect sites with each other that are, because during that time we'll be learning and hopefully be able to connect you with other sites as we learn about what your challenges are, what your struggles are, and also what your successes are. So different opportunities and ways to do this are virtually, which would be about 1 hour, an in-person site visit, which is about 1.5 hours. And then we also are trying to support the system structure by offering multi-site visit for systems. There will be limited slots available for some of the site visits. So we'll get all of that information and details on how to sign up for those out in the new year. The process will be and you will submit an interest form. We'll get it scheduled. There'll be some preparation meetings to make sure that we are all on the same page and getting everybody what they need to make the most out of the time that is spent together. And then we'll complete the site visit. Next, we have a few surveys that we will be sending out. The first one is our Quality Improvement Initiative survey that we will get out and have open up in January of 2024. Completion of that survey would get you 0.25 points. There will also be an opportunity to do, I'm going to skip down to the health equity because it's almost the same thing, just a different topic area. So for that one, you will do the survey will also open in January and you'll get 0.25 points. Another opportunity for you to let us know what you're working on and for us to share that information out to the collaborative would be for you to do an interview. It's about a 1 hour interview, and we would talk about some of your QI initiatives and successes so that other sites can have an idea of what you're doing and we can help to get more educational opportunities for everybody. So I'm going to go through a couple of our frequently asked questions, and then we will open it up for you all to ask some questions as well. So folks are interested in finding out that whether or not the site will begin earning points for participating when the sites will. And I think Chelsea went over this very nicely in the timeline, but as a reminder, they'll be awarded for the activities that you do in calendar year 2024. And then again, the site coordinator does not have to be the one that participates in all the activities. We encourage you to bring on other members of the team, and we will make sure that we give you credit accordingly. One other thing that I wanted to point out that I didn't mention earlier, but it was on one of the slides, is that we will be sending out quarterly updates of what you're getting, where you're at with your engagement points to kind of help you keep track of that on your end. And then questions that have come up about how will points be tracked for attendance-based activities. We'll be using Qualtrics post-event surveys to confirm the points, and representatives will need to select the appropriate site that is getting the points for their attendance. This is particularly applicable to folks who are site coordinators at multiple different sites. So if that is the case for you, when you attend the event, you will need to let us know which site you are attending on behalf of. I think I just kind of talked through this one a little bit, but again, just to reiterate that you will not be able to earn points for multiple sites with the attendance at one event by one site coordinator. And then again, you will know how many points your sites earn throughout the year with those quarterly updates that we will be sending out. And if you have any questions about those as they are coming out, we encourage you to please reach out to us as early as possible so that we can investigate if there's any discrepancy or concerns about that. So now I would like to give you all the opportunity to ask questions. I've been seeing some pop up in the Q&A section. I don't know if any of those, Aaron, Brad, Gianna, if any of those you want to read out, we can do that now.
I can respond about the calendar for a lot of the sort of specific dated events like our semi-annual meetings, our work groups. We do have a finished 2024 events calendar that we can send out following the webinar, so you can add those holds to your calendar now.
There's a question in the chat that I'm not sure if everybody could see the question, so I do want to clarify this one from Sharon. The question is, why can't a representative for 2 hospitals receive credit for attending? And if I misled anybody into thinking that you can't get credit at all, you will get credit. You just have to let us know which, you can only get credit for one of the sites. And again, that is meant to really encourage other people from your team to also join MVC events so that you can work collaboratively at your site on your initiatives.
And I'll just chime in a little bit. I typed a response to Sharon, but given that MVC's program is site specific, each site needs to have a representative participate in order for points to be awarded.
Before we move on into getting into some of these examples, I'll just give it one more minute here for additional questions. Okay. So then we can get into some of the scoring examples. So the first one, this would be a site having a member of their team attend both the spring and fall collaborative wide meetings, and they would get 0.75 for that. And then they also sign up to present at a virtual work group and then participate in all 4 of the cardiac rehab work group sessions, and then hosting a in-person site visit to get their 2.0. This one is, looks like a lot more on the screen, but some of these ones that are 0.25 are intended to be a little bit of a smaller lift. So kind of breaking things up throughout the year in more manageable increments, if that's what works best for your team. So attending one of the collaborative wide meetings, presenting a poster at that meeting, and participating in all 4 work groups would get the first half of your points. And then the second half of the points comes from the rural health and health in action work groups, custom analytics report process, and doing the survey and doing a virtual site visit. So in this example, again, the site has somebody attend both the spring and fall meetings. They also do a poster at the fall meeting and then have a virtual site visit with the MVC team. For the last 0.5 of their points, they would then do a 1-hour interview regarding their QI initiatives and complete the health equity survey. Our final example is having somebody from your site attend the fall collaborative wide meeting and do a poster presentation at the fall collaborative wide meeting, and then present at a virtual work group, and participate in all 4 of the perioperative work group sessions and all 4 of the sepsis work group sessions. And then attending an MVC networking event. So this example gets in a little bit to what I was talking about earlier when I said that you could get up to 0.75 on the work groups. In this one, there is not the attendance at the rural health or health in action for that other 0.25, but this example, the site is maxing out on those 4 volumetric focused work groups. So you can get up to 0.5 in that section of work groups. You're welcome to attend all the work groups, and we'd love to see you for all of them, but we're trying to get a variety of different engagement opportunities with sites. So you could do only 2 of those topics for 0.5, and then if you wanted to do health in action or rural health for another 0.25, that is another option. So upcoming dates that we have the bonus point surveys due next Wednesday on the 15th. We have program year 2024-2025 introduction reports coming out soon, and work group presentation proposals will come out. Those will be due for Q1 presentations on December 8th. So once you get those, you'll want to talk pretty quickly with your teams and get your proposals in. You won't have to have everything finalized at that point, but it just gives us the opportunity to start scheduling things in advance of the holidays and all that kind of stuff. Then in 2024, we will start beginning to get those, to earn those activity points. We will have work groups starting, and then the performance year program year 25 performance year begins January 24. Program year 23 final scorecards will also be sent out in Q1 of 2024, and quarterly program year 24 engagement point updates and mid-year scorecards will be distributed towards the end of Q1 and Q2, sorry. So I don't know if maybe some of those scoring examples brought up more questions, or the timeline has given us additional questions to go through, but we can go ahead and open it up again to answer some of those.
If you are interested in answering or asking a question live, you can raise your hand and we will unmute you, but still also feel free to use the question and answer chat.
Like my teammates have been busily answering these questions because there's a lot here that I didn't see. Thank you, guys. Erin, you're...
Thanks for the question, Margaret, around a poster template. MVC does have poster templates that we are able to share out for our collaborative wide meeting poster sessions. So that is something that we can distribute. Sites are also encouraged, if you have a poster for kind of a previous session that you've used, you're more than welcome to use that, or to use any template that works for you. It's not mandatory that you use an MVC template. And Nikki, thanks so much for the question around how other participants from your hospital will get tracked for attendance. This has not been addressed, so thanks so much for the question. Part of the way that we are going to be monitoring kind of participation and things like that is through kind of post-event surveys. And with that, say, you know, a colleague of yours attends a work group, they will at the end of the work group receive a survey. The mandatory, you know, we would love feedback on the whole entire session, but the mandatory questions will be the name of the person, a drop down selection for the site that they are representing, and then along with their site coordinator's name and email address. So then MVC will get confirmation for that person, who they're attending on behalf of from a site perspective, and site coordinators will also get notification.
Thanks, Erin. It looks like the questions are slowing down. So I also just want to mention, if you have questions that come up after the session, or as you're sharing these slides out with your teams, they're viewing this recording will be available on our YouTube channel. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us, and be happy to answer any questions that you have over the next few weeks as we move into 2024.